Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Have you ever wondered why some wounds don't heal? Why memories of someone who hurt you continue to haunt you like a persistent nightmare? It's not just sentimentality or a weakness of character. There's something much deeper at play, something that the great psychologist Carl Jung explored throughout his life. Today, we will talk about how, drawing on Jung's wisdom, we can not only forget but truly heal from the pain inflicted by another person. Are you ready to look into the deepest corners of your soul and discover unexpected answers there? Imagine a labyrinth. In its center lies a painful memory, and the walls of this labyrinth are built from our attempts to avoid this pain, to suppress it, to pretend it doesn't exist. But, as Jung taught, what we resist persists. By trying to forget, we only drive this pain deeper into our unconscious, where it continues to subtly control our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Jung spoke of the existence of the shadow, that part of our personality that we do not recognize, reject, or are unaware of. This shadow can contain various aspects of ourselves, our negative character traits, unacceptable desires, traumatic experiences, and, of course, the pain inflicted on us by others. And here begins one of the most paradoxical and important aspects of Jung's teachings. The person who hurt us is often not just a random offender. On an unconscious level, they can act as a mirror, reflecting our own shadow. We may project onto them the qualities that we cannot accept in ourselves, or they may unconsciously touch our own deeply hidden wounds. Take a moment to think. What specific actions or words of the person who hurt you caused you the most intense emotional reaction? What exactly got to you? And now try to be as honest with yourself as possible. Wasn't there something in your own behavior, even in other situations and towards other people, that remotely resembled these traits? Perhaps you yourself once displayed cruelty, selfishness, envy, or indifference, even if to a lesser extent or in a different form. Jung argued that we tend to react particularly strongly to those qualities in others that are also present in ourselves, but reside in our shadow. It's like looking at your reflection in a distorted mirror. It may be warped, but it still shows your own essence. So how, from Jung's perspective, can we stop being held hostage by this pain? How can we break free from intrusive memories and move on? The answer may seem unexpected: not to forget, but to integrate. Shadow integration is a complex but necessary process of accepting and becoming aware of all aspects of our personality, both light and dark. This does not mean that we should justify bad behavior or become like those who hurt us. It means acknowledging that within each of us lies the potential for various actions, and that our pain may be related not only to the actions of another person, but also to our own reaction to those actions, our expectations, and our vulnerabilities. When we begin to recognize and accept our shadow, the projection onto the other person weakens. The pain they inflicted on us ceases to seem so all-consuming and unfair. We begin to see the situation more holistically, understanding that it involved not only the actions of the offender, but also our own internal processes, our expectations, and our vulnerabilities. Let's consider another example. Imagine that your boss constantly criticizes you. You feel incompetent and depressed. But what if you think about it? Aren't you yourself overly self-critical? Aren't you projecting your own inner critic, who constantly gnaws at you from within and resides in your shadow, onto your boss? Accepting this tendency towards self-criticism does not mean that you should start agreeing with unfair criticism. It means that you will stop reacting so sharply to external criticism because you are already aware of this tendency in yourself and have learned to cope with it. External criticism will no longer fall on such fertile ground within you. But how can we practically approach shadow integration? Jung suggested several effective methods that can help us on this challenging path. Firstly, it's attentive self-observation. Pay close attention to your emotional reactions. What situations or words evoke the strongest feelings in you? Anger, irritation, envy, resentment. As a rule, these strong emotional reactions are markers of those aspects of our shadow that require our awareness. Write down your thoughts and feelings, analyze them. This will help you see patterns and understand what exactly triggers you. Secondly, it's dream analysis. Jung considered dreams the royal road to the unconscious. The images and symbols we see in our dreams are often projections of our shadow, expressed in symbolic form. Try to remember your dreams, write them down, and analyze them. What characters or situations evoke strong emotions in you? What aspects of your personality might they represent? There are entire books and methodologies on dream interpretation in the Jungian tradition that can become a valuable tool for you. Thirdly, it's creative self-expression. Any form of creativity, whether it's writing, drawing, music, dance, sculpting, or something else, can become a bridge to our shadow. Through creativity, we can express those feelings, experiences, and aspects of our personality that are difficult to recognize and accept in ordinary, rational life. Allow yourself to create freely, without limiting yourself with frameworks and evaluations. The result may surprise you. Fourthly, it's an honest and deep dialogue with yourself. Regularly ask yourself important questions about your motives, fears, desires, and actions. Don't be afraid to look into those corners of your soul that seem dark, unsightly, or painful to you. Be utterly honest with yourself. This is the key to self-knowledge. Fifthly, it's the awareness of projections in everyday life. Whenever you experience a strong negative reaction to someone, stop for a moment and ask yourself, don't I see in this person something that I cannot accept in myself? Am I not projecting my own unrecognized qualities, my fears, or my shortcomings onto them? This simple question can help you see the situation in a completely different light. Shadow integration is not a one-time act, but a long and continuous process. It requires time, patience, courage, and a willingness for honest and sometimes painful self-analysis. But it is this path that leads to genuine healing, to accepting yourself in all your fullness, and to liberation from the pain of the past. In addition to the concept of the shadow, Jung also paid great attention to the process of individuation, becoming a whole and mature personality. The pain we experience from the actions of others can become an important part of this process, pushing us towards a deeper understanding of ourselves, our values, and our place in the world. Jung believed that suffering is not always meaningless. It can be a signal that something in our life is not right, that we need to reconsider our beliefs, change our attitude towards ourselves, others, or a particular situation. Pain can become a powerful catalyst for our personal growth and spiritual development if we learn to interpret it correctly and draw lessons from it. Instead of desperately trying to forget the person who hurt us, try to see in this painful situation an opportunity for your own growth and self-knowledge. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? What qualities in me did this situation reveal, both strong and weak? How can I become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate thanks to this trial? Furthermore, Jung emphasized the fundamental importance of taking responsibility for our own feelings and reactions. Yes, another person may have acted unfairly, cruelly, or even treacherously, but our emotional reaction to their actions is our own responsibility. We cannot control the behavior of other people, but we can always control how we react to that behavior, what thoughts we choose, and what feelings we allow ourselves to experience. When we stop blaming another person for our pain and begin to take responsibility for our own emotional experiences, we regain our inner strength and control over our lives. We cease to be a passive victim of circumstances and become active creators of our own reality. And finally, one of the most important aspects of healing is forgiveness. Jung viewed forgiveness not as an act of weakness or concession, but as a powerful act of inner strength and liberation. Forgiveness does not mean justifying the offender or forgetting the pain inflicted. It means freeing yourself from this pain, ceasing to carry it as a heavy burden in your heart, letting go of the negative emotions that poison your life. Forgiveness is a priceless gift that we give primarily to ourselves. Forgiving the person who caused you deep pain can be incredibly difficult and require a lot of time and emotional strength. But try to look at it from the perspective of Jungian psychology. Perhaps this person themselves is unaware of the deeper motives behind their actions. Perhaps they themselves are a prisoner of their own unexplored shadow, their own complexes and traumas. Try to show compassion not only for yourself, but also, as much as possible, for them. Remember that we are all human, and we are all imperfect. In conclusion, I would like to remind you once again of the wise words of Carl Jung. There is no light without shadow, and no wholeness without imperfection. The pain we experience from the actions of others is an integral part of our human experience, part of our individual journey towards wholeness and self-knowledge. Instead of spending precious energy on futile attempts to forget this pain, try to understand its deep meaning, accept it as a valuable lesson, and use it as a powerful stimulus for your further growth and development. Remember that the healing process is deeply personal and often non-linear. There will be ups and downs, moments of clarity and periods of doubt on this path. But if you follow the wise advice of Jungian psychology, you will definitely find your own unique path to inner freedom, harmony, and peace of mind. What do you think about this? Which aspects of Carl Jung's teachings on pain and forgiveness resonate with you the most? Share your thoughts and your experiences in the comments below. Your story may become a source of inspiration and support for other viewers on their healing journey.